Hey, this is Bree from Spooky Happy Hour again. We are at the Haunted Liberty Theater and Museum in Naniglow, Pennsylvania, and I have Nicole with me from the Geek Foundry.
Hi.
So tell me a little bit about the Geek Foundry.
The Geek Foundry is the brainchild of my husband's. We did we are mainly a 3D printing little company.
What do you
Based
use
out
for
of
your
Johnstown.
3D printing? What's your specialty that you print?
Well, that's his thing. Like we have two different types of printers that we work with. One's the FDM type of printer, which those are the ones that you usually will see with you see the filament that comes down from the top into like the hot end, and then it builds everything up.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is a little hard to show off to people because it's a resin printer, and so it has a vat of like UV curing resin, and it has a bed plate that goes down in and actually prints things upside down. It's kind of weird.
Oh, yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite thing about the Geek Foundry?
My favorite thing about the Geek Foundry right now is actually the learning process and creating some of our own actual models, like stuff that we will have that no other 3D printers will actually have.
So you have this like unique type of ability or style that you're bringing to it too.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you've been up to our booth, you see that we have the dragons and everything like that, because those things.
People come and look for them.
They do. Mm-hmm. But what other ones won't have are things like our articulated squonk.
Oh my gosh. And we just learned about the squonk
you did?
too. This is here.
You just talked to our friend Joe.
I did, yes.
You did. So and I'm actually pretty proud of this guy because he's our own model. Yeah. And we do a lot of like cryptids and stuff. So you'll see like we have Bigfoot, we have like things like the Fresno Nightcrawler and Yetis, and we would have had Mothman with us, but Mothman decided to stay home.
Can I
absolutely.
Nice, look how cute. I like all of this. They look like little pimples. That's what I'm going to call them. Little pimples everywhere. Oh my gosh, he's crying because he's the saddest creature in all of the land.
We have his little brother right here.
Oh, I love here. I'm going to switch you out. I love the little miniature ones too, because if you all were with us for Joe's portion of the video, this is exactly a model of what he was talking about. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I love that it's pink, because pink is like usually like this happy bright color, and then you see him, he's like all sad. So it's kind of a play on it too.
I don't know how much of it the squonk that he explained to you, but in the book Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods, they originally described the squonk as a sad pig-like creature.
Okay.
So that's why you'll see him depicted more of like a pig, because that's how it was described in the book.
Wow. And how did you start like getting into, cryptid and paranormal stuff and all of those things to be able to create them?
To be honest with you, I've always been in that kind of stuff. It's just now we're allowed. I don't want to say we're allowed. It's like we've become a little bit more brave in flying our geek flags.
For sure. And much more accepted too. I mean, we have this entire event here where everyone's flying their own flag.
That's exactly
and it's nice that we can all come together. And like Joe and I were talking about that too. That like once you meet somebody and become friends, then you end up seeing them at all of these different conventions or shows or whatnot. And then you can just come and be yourself.
You almost just like even with the vending family and stuff like that, okay, well, I was just gonna say, you become like friends and family, and eventually it's like it's a whole other like subculture, and I love it. Like some of our other like family and friends, they don't understand exactly what we do, but I'm like, I feel so easy talking to you because you're not gonna judge me because of what I like or what I'm into.
Right, I'm not going to roll my eyes at you or tell you, oh, no, that's not true, or you got to be kidding me, or whatever other invalidating responses that we all probably have heard when we share our stories. So I think that is the perfect way to like share your stuff and know people want to hear it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm 43 years old. I'm a 43-year-old woman. I love video games. I love geeky stuff. And yeah, I've been told my entire life, like, aren't you a little too old for that stuff? I'm like, absolutely not. I got
Hell no.
That's exactly it. I have an inner child.
Mhm.
And I mean, like, just to even display that, I mean, like, okay, this is another creation that I'm pretty proud of, is that we created our own custom dice. We're one of few 3D printers that have actually figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're Dungeons and Dragons geeks. We're the ones who are sitting there with our pens and papers, and we're sitting there at the table like, okay, you're the wizard, you know, or cast fireball. Oh, wait, there's somebody in there. You need all these logistics. Everybody outside are like, oh my God, what a bunch of geeks. And I'm like,
you're like, yeah, and we're proud of it.
That's exactly it. You know,
and I love them too. I like that they look more like, you know, paint dripping or like splattered or whatnot. So if you can see those too, and if anybody is around the Nanoglow area, you know, check them out. I wish that
we brought a whole bunch of stuff. I brought
more people to come down too.
So like Cryptus, speaking of the squonk, that's
oh yeah, oh my
that's
gosh,
my own custom artwork there. So we're doing a whole bunch of that.
What have you always just been like really creative? Like since you were younger?
Ever since I was little, I have always drawn and things like that. I even went to art school. Awesome. So like my day job, I'm a professional graphic designer.
Cool. So now you can mix like the profession with the pleasure and all of the geekiness, right? All together.
I mean, like we got the squonk, we got well, I lied. There's Mothman in there. So
okay, yeah.
With that and little squonky patch.
Oh my gosh, I love this patch. I don't know why, but like I just got like this big flash of like a biker gang with this like on their like vest or something like that. And with the, you know, the big like motorcycle crowd in like Johnstown. Have you seen them, you know?
Yes. And you know what? It's funny that you bring that up because
it's awesome.
Because speaking of my friend Joe, you'll hear me talk about him a lot. We're like him, my husband and his wife, like we're really, really close friends. And he did a special shirt and poster for Squonkapalooza that featured the Squonk. He called it the Squonkinator, and it was a whole play on the Terminator 2.
Oh,
and
awesome.
So but instead of like you know Arnold Schwarzenegger, he had the sawed-off rifle in the thing, but he had him carrying the thing called the anti-sadness paddle.
Oh my gosh. I would have loved to see that. I'm going to have to ask Joe about that too. Maybe we can come back and he can display some more of his t-shirts too. What do you think is like now that you've, you know, gotten a chance to look at everyone else's stuff too, what's really kind of stuck out to you?
Just the diversity of everything that's here, and just knowing like, okay, when it comes to the paranormal stuff, and I'm a very, very deep believer in all that. Like, I'm very careful about Ouija boards and with planchets and everything. I won't have one cross the threshold of my house unless I actually know somebody that knows how to use it. Like, and just going around, I'm like, I don't know, like the haunted ramen. You know, I'm like, that's interesting. I'm like, of all things to be like haunted.
Yeah, you
like,
never even think about it until you come here and you see something like that.
You know, and just like having some of my very own experience, like paranormal experiences, that I'm like, being here, I do feel a little like tingly. Because you just know.
Yeah.
And it's an experience. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, until you're here and you're experiencing it, and then you try to explain it to somebody else who gets it. Yeah. And I think those are the times where like you can really open up and say your stuff because you know someone will eventually get it.
Yeah.
In this type of community, and it's hard to do that in any other type of community. So before we wrap up today, what would you say to somebody who, like you, has always been interested in this, who's kind of like had it sheltered a little bit because it wasn't exactly accepted? What would you tell anybody who's in that kind of environment now?
I would just like say, just reach out and start talking about it. Like, talk about your experiences, talk to other people. And the thing is, though, the more you talk about it, the more connections that you make in finding those who actually have similar experiences to you.
Yeah, it's like being brave,
Mhm.
going against the grain sometimes, embracing your passions and your interests for a reason,
That's
and letting
exactly
people
it.
know it. And it's kind of like, the metaphor is like they use is like fishing, right? If you
Mhm.
put it out there, there's somebody that's just waiting for that bait. And once they take it, you'll have a really great prize.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
And thank you for being here, and tell everybody where they can find you either on socials or.
You can find the Geek Foundry. We have our very own website. So it's thegeekfoundry.com, I think.
All of these
I
will
don't
be
like
linked
how
into the
often
video too.
How
so.
often do I visit myself on the web?
Right.
Honestly, so I'm usually more like on the back end of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's thegeekfoundry.com, and you can find us also on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok.
Awesome. All the socials.
Oh, yes.
And if you look below in the description, you will find all of the links to the Geek Foundry, and we hope that you check it out. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely.
Well, at least me right now, but yes.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.